body's gonna fall for him at some points in that fight. I believe he won that fight clearly. We should be 2-time world champion right now.
Who were you gonna call out? What was the plan originally?
I think he was here.
I ain't gonna do him.
Shakur Stevenson?
Next question.
Gervonta Tank Davis is back to trolling, and this time Lamont Roach is the target after their fight ended in a controversial draw. Tank wasted no time in letting Roach know exactly how he felt, and not just that. The comments coming from Tank's rivals about his pretty boy excuse in the ring set up the perfect near-future fights for Tank. However, it seems that Tank's only focus is money, and it was revealed when he mentioned the fighter he was going to call out if he had won against Roach.
Nobody like a draw, you know, from a guy that get knockouts and things like that. But it's cool. I feel like if we fight again, I could do more, and I should have did more. I was lost in I lost track in
Let's catch you up. In a heated live session, Davis mocked Roach, claiming he was still the better man and that Roach should be thankful he didn't get knocked out. But Roach wasn't having it. He made it clear that Davis did everything in his power to win and still couldn't get the job done. Now, as the dust settles, it looks like Tank might not be done with Roach just yet.
They was both eating. Watch the fight, they was both watching each other. Sometimes they stood right in front of each other. I'm trying to figure out where the holes was at. It was a dry, still fight, and which is one of the things that when you fight somebody that you know that.
The fight itself was a good one. Roach came in sharp, outworking Tank in multiple rounds, and even had a moment in the ninth that sent shockwaves through the boxing world. Tank took a knee. Most fans and analysts called it a clear knockdown, but the referee didn't see it that way. That single moment changed everything. Had it been ruled correctly, Roach would have walked away with the biggest win of his career. Instead, the fight was ruled a majority draw, and Tank held on to his WBA lightweight title. Despite the controversy, Tank has been in full troll mode ever since he hopped on social media the moment he got the chance, reminding Roach that he was still the champion and that a draw wasn't enough for him to claim victory. "You should be thanking me for not ending your career," Davis said in one post. In another, he flat out dismissed Roach's performance, saying, "You had the fight of your life and still couldn't beat me." But Roach isn't the type to just sit back and take it. He fired right back, telling Tank that he knew the truth. Davis gave it everything he had and still couldn't put him away.
And I thought I was doing my thing, so I'm not really that frustrated about that. But if that was kind of knockdown, I will win the majority decision.
You know what happened in that ring? Roach said during an Instagram live session. "You felt it, you did your best, and you couldn't beat me. Told you I was no Frank Martin." It was a direct challenge, one that Tank clearly didn't appreciate. Davis then went on to talk about his excuse to take a knee in the fight. It didn't take long for Davis to respond. And this time he went even further. "Man, y'all keep talking about that knee." He said, "I took a knee cause I wanted to, not cause he did anything special. I was just chilling thinking about what I was going to eat after the fight." But everyone knows the truth. The moment was a rare sign of vulnerability from Davis, and Roach is using it to keep the pressure on.
Or your future.
For sure.
All of this back and forth is now forcing Tank to reconsider his future. Before the Roach fight, Davis had been vocal about his plans to retire soon. He originally said he had 3 more fights left after Roach and that he'd be done with boxing by the end of 2025. But that draw changed everything. Now Davis is saying he's not going anywhere just yet. Yeah, it definitely changed my plans. It definitely changed my plans, Tank admitted in the post-fight press conference. "I probably got 4 more fights now." A complete shift from where he was just months ago. At the end of 20,124, Tank said he had grown tired of boxing. He was ready to walk away and his plan was set. But now he's got something to prove. The draw against Roach has clearly been eating at him. Even though he won't admit it outright, his non-stop trolling is proof enough. But while he's at that case, and Davis is on a mission to expose him, and he's not holding anything back. Ever since Tank's controversial draw with Roach, Kesson has been all over social media, making it clear that he never believed Tank was the fighter he claimed to be. To Keen, Tank's entire aura has been built on hype, not true skill, and after seeing him struggle against Roach, he's doubling down on that belief. Kaysen is convinced that Tank isn't what people think he is, and he's making it clear that if they ever fight, he would put Tank down without a doubt.
That fight playing out, what's the biggest advantage that Keyshawn has? Going against yeah, great boxer. Keyshawn's a great boxer. He ain't got problems. I can see that fight just be an entertaining fight. Keyshawn's an entertainer, Tank comes in there and does nothing. I can see that fight be entertaining, doing later rounds.
Kane first spoke out on Instagram Live, and he wasted no time tearing into Tank's performance. I feel like Lamont won. Let's start there, he said, making sure everyone knew exactly where he stood. I feel like Lamont definitely won a draw. It is what it is. I ain't hating on the decision, but I did feel like Lamontroach pulled it off. But he wasn't just stating his opinion, he was backing it up with facts. Had the 9th round knee been ruled correctly as a knockdown, Roach would have won on 2 of the 3 scorecards, making him the new WBA lightweight champion. Instead, Tank kept his belt, and the controversy only added to the conversation about whether or not he's really the best at 135. If they ran it back, y'all already know what would happen. Kaysen added, making it clear that he believes Roach would win a rematch without question. The trash, not, I'm talking about our opponent up on. I just don't like how, but this wasn't just about Roach, this was about Kaysen putting himself in the conversation. He doesn't just believe Roach beat Tank, he believes he himself would do far worse to him. I'm the best at 135, man, he said confidently. Either one of them guys, I'm knocking them outward. He wasn't hesitant, he wasn't unsure, he was speaking like a man who already knows what's going to happen. I'm telling you, if you give me either or before the rematch, I'm king that rematch they're getting put. I ain't playing. I'll put all these guys down. The message was clear. Tank and Roach can run it back all they want, but it doesn't matter because if Kaysen gets to either of them first, he'll be the one taking over the division. But I want to fight one of them, you know what I'm saying. I don't care who I fight at this point. I don't care. But I'm telling you, if you give me either or before they rematch, they rematch up, they getting put. I'm telling you, I ain't even playing. I ain't playing, bro. I'm young, I'm on fire, I'm young and I'm on fire. And then came the moment where Kaysen really let Tank have it. Don't say Tank will knock me out no more. I'm shutting that down right now. Don't fix your mouth to even say this man could knock me out. Crazy. It wasn't just trash talk, it was a full-on dismissal of everything. Tank has built his name on the power, the knockouts, the fear factor. Kaysen doesn't see any of it as real in his mind. Tank has never fought anyone like him, and he's letting it be known that the moment they step in the ring, it'll be a different kind of fight than anything Tank has experienced before. And I thought I should have won a competitive fight. I think I did what I needed to do necessary to bank the rounds, and even without the knee, that should have been a knockdown. So I don't think there's any excuse for me not to win tonight. But that's just how to cook and crumble. Kaysen isn't just talking for the sake of it. There's a real possibility that he could be next in line to face Tank. While Tank has said he's open to a rematch with Roach, he also made it clear that it won't be next. That has fans speculating if it's not Roach, then who? Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson are names that have been floating around. But so is Gervonta, and given how personal he's making it, the build-up to that fight would be unlike anything we've seen from Tank in a long time. Kaysen isn't just calling out Tank's last fight, he's calling out his entire career. He's making the argument that Tank has never been what people say he is. He's saying that he's been carefully matched up against opponents who make him look good, rather than true threats. That particular quality. If I'm Tank Davis and I'm coming off a disappointment in terms of my offensive output, I'm not going straight to the best defender in the division. I'm looking for some other fight, and I think the logical fight for him is a rematch with Lamontroach. And now that he's finally been in a real fight, he barely survived to Keen. The myth of Tank is crumbling, and he wants to be the one to put the final nail in the coffin. But the backlash is not coming from Kaysen alone. Tim Bradley had been one of Tank's toughest critics for years, constantly questioning his level of opposition and the way his career was managed. But even he had to add at MIT that Tank had something special, especially with how Tank responded to the Saudis over time. Bradley had started to appreciate those qualities, even if he didn't always agree with how Tank carried himself. But after what he saw against Lamontroach, all of that respect was gone when he found out. And this guy is in front of me, he's taking it. I think it was too late. I thought it was disappointed that he didn't end that draw. It wasn't just that Tank underperformed. It was the way he carried himself, the entitlement, the belief that he could do whatever he wanted in the ring and get away with it. Bradley had seen a lot in boxing, but Tank's antics in that fight left him shaking his head. He had expected a dominant performance from Davis, a statement win that would silence critics and prove he was still the man to beat at 135. Instead, Tank looked vulnerable, and worse, he acted like he was above the sport. Can't even see who it is. Hey, Who is the dude? Who is the dude? Bradley was disgusted by what he saw, and he didn't hold back in his analysis. He felt Tank had been given an unfair advantage, that the fight was being controlled to protect him, rather than let the action play out naturally. The 9th round incident was the perfect example. Bradley had never seen a fighter take a knee like that, pause the action on his own terms, and have it completely ignored by the referee. That was the moment Bradley realized that Tank wasn't just the aside, he was being treated like boxing royalty, with rules bent in his favor, and for someone like Bradley who prided himself on fighting the hard way, that was unacceptable. They made the rules up. Yeah, that was it. Should have been called a knockdown. You can't take a break like that. The only person that can do that is the referee. The referee can stop the action and say, hey, let me take you to the corner. He also took issue with Tank's attitude during the fight. There was no sense of urgency, no real effort to take control in the later rounds. When the fight was slipping away, it was almost as if Tank believed his status alone would be enough to secure the win, as if the judges wouldn't dare score it against him. Bradley had seen fighters lose hunger before, but this was different. Tank